Now that we understand that these joints follow a hierarchic system, and also that what they do is they hold this placement matrix data, the next thing I want to introduce is the idea that joints themselves follow two things that you may not be familiar with. One is that they use relative positioning. Relative positioning is the idea that instead of using true world space coordinates, each one keeps track of its location relative to the joints around it. The other thing that they use is a thing called a local rotation axis. So while each joint understands world space rotation, each joint itself also contains a secondary rotation system that is unique to that joint and works corresponding to the joints around it. So essentially, each joint has two sets of rotation. It does have world space rotation available to it, but it itself also rotates on a unique axis known only to the joint. You will see this in effect almost immediately after you make a joint. So while this is probably really confusing now, my joint has two rotations for some reason, it might help you to think about it this way. If I look at the knee is going to rotate this way, right? Knees are not known for rotating that way. That would break the leg. So the knee rotates backwards. Is the knee exactly lined up with the hip? No, the knee is not exactly lined up with the hip. Let's take a nice bright yellow color and say that this is probably not an exactly straight line here. This is also probably not an exactly straight line here from the knee down to the ankle. So the joint has to remember in its head what angle this is and what angle this is before it can really start figuring out what angle this is going to set up. So joints have all of this really delicate information about themselves, about the joints around them, and about the vertices in your model. Your vocabulary words here are relative positioning, which helps you understand that the joints only contain world space information relative to other joints, and local rotation, which should help you to understand that the joints have a very special and unique system of rotational motion. Doesn't that sound exciting? It should sound exciting. We'll get back to that in the next video.